The school hallway went silent. 8-year-old Lily dropped her backpack, sprinted past every waiting parent, and threw both arms around the new tutor standing at the office door. Her tiny fingers clung to the woman's sweater as if letting go would break something forever. Then she whispered, barely loud enough for her father to hear. "You finally came back." Daniel Carter stopped walking. His heart pounded so hard, he almost forgot how to breathe. Because Lily had never met this woman. At least, she wasn't supposed to have. Daniel had spent 5 years rebuilding a life that grief had shattered. By day, he repaired elevators across Chicago, climbing steel shafts before sunrise, while carrying a lunchbox held together with duct tape. By night, he helped Lily with homework, burned half the dinners he attempted, and learned how to braid hair through online videos that always made it look easier than it was. His wife, Emma, had died after a sudden illness when Lily was only 3. Since then, Daniel had become everything at once: father, mother, cook, cheerleader, and protector. Lily rarely talked about her mother anymore. She simply smiled at old photographs and quietly carried memories no child should have to carry. So watching her hug a complete stranger made every protective instinct inside him come alive. The woman gently knelt until they were eye level. She looked equally confused. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I think your daughter mistaken me for someone else." Her name was Claire Bennett, the school's newest reading tutor. She had recently moved back to Chicago after years teaching children recovering from trauma. Daniel forced a polite smile, but questions followed him all the way home. Over the next 2 weeks, something changed. Lily, who usually dreaded reading assignments, suddenly volunteered to stay after school. Her teachers reported she laughed more. She even started sleeping through the night again after years of waking from quiet nightmares. Daniel wanted to feel grateful. Instead, he felt unsettled. One evening he asked gently, "What do you like so much about Miss Claire?" Lily stirred her macaroni without looking up. "She remembers things." Daniel frowned. "What things?" "The humming." His fork stopped halfway to his mouth. Emma used to hum while cooking. The same unfinished melody every evening. A tune she'd invented herself. No recording existed. No one else knew it. Except Lily. Daniel convinced himself coincidence could explain almost anything. Until family night at school. Parents gathered in the library while children showed reading projects. Across the room, Claire absent-mindedly hummed that exact melody while organizing books. Daniel felt cold. Not similar. Not close. Exactly the same. After everyone left, he finally asked, "Where did you learn that song?" Claire blinked. "What song?" "The one you were humming." She looked embarrassed. "I've done it since I was little. My grandmother used to hum it around the house." Daniel stared. Emma had grown up in foster care. She knew almost nothing about her biological relatives. The only family history she'd ever mentioned was an old lullaby remembered from someone she couldn't even name. Claire's smile slowly disappeared as realization crossed her face. Neither of them slept that night. Curiosity became impossible to ignore. Claire searched through boxes she'd never unpacked. Inside an old envelope, she found faded adoption papers belonging to her grandmother. There was one handwritten note. "My baby girl was placed with another family before I could meet her." Attached was a hospital bracelet. The surname matched Emma's birth records. Claire wasn't Emma's sister. She was her cousin. A branch of family neither woman had ever known existed. Daniel sat speechless as Claire shared everything. No dramatic music. No miraculous reunion. Just 2 adults quietly staring at decades of missing history spread across a kitchen table. For the first time since Emma's funeral, Daniel learned something new about the woman he had loved. He cried harder than he had in years. Lily didn't understand family trees. She understood feelings. When Claire visited for Sunday dinner, Lily simply smiled. "I told you, Daddy." Daniel looked at her. "Told me what?" "You smell like Mommy." Claire laughed through unexpected tears. "I probably used the same soap." But Lily shook her head. "No." Children often explained impossible things with impossible certainty. Daniel chose not to argue. Life slowly settled into something warmer. Claire never tried replacing Emma. She never called herself family. She simply appeared. School plays, science fairs, helping Lily choose books, bringing homemade soup when Daniel worked overtime. She became another safe person in a world that had once felt painfully small. Then another twist arrived. Claire received an offer to direct a literacy program in Seattle. It was the opportunity she'd worked toward for years. Accepting meant leaving in 3 weeks. She told Daniel first. I can't ask Lily to understand. Daniel nodded, though disappointment settled heavily inside him. You shouldn't give up your future because of us. But Lily overheard anyway. That night, she quietly packed one small backpack. When Daniel found her sitting on the porch before sunrise, she whispered, "Everyone leaves eventually." Those 6 words shattered him. Not because they were angry, because they sounded practiced. Daniel realized he had spent years protecting Lily from sadness instead of helping her trust that love could survive distance. The next afternoon, he invited Claire to the park. Autumn leaves drifted across empty swings. He spoke honestly. You don't owe us anything. Claire looked toward Lily playing nearby. I know, but you matter to her. Claire nodded. And she matters to me. Neither pretended there was an easy answer. Some relationships weren't built by obligation. They simply happened. Claire accepted the Seattle position. Lily cried at the airport. So did Daniel. Before boarding, Claire handed Lily a small wooden box. Inside were 12 sealed envelopes, one for every month. Each contained a handwritten story, a reading challenge, and one memory about Emma pieced together from family records. Claire continued researching. Until I come visit, Claire said. Lily hugged her tightly. This time she didn't ask anyone to stay. She learned love could travel. Months passed. Video calls became bedtime routines. Claire uncovered photographs of Emma as an infant, smiling beside relatives she'd never known existed. Daniel framed everyone. The empty spaces in their family history slowly filled, not with fantasy, but with truth. On the anniversary of Emma's passing, Lily placed the final letter beside her mother's picture. Then she looked at Daniel. I think Mommy wanted us to find them. Daniel smiled gently. Maybe. He had stopped searching for supernatural explanations. Sometimes life connected people through forgotten records, old songs, and impossible timing. Sometimes a child recognized familiarity before adults recognized facts. As they stood together, Daniel realized healing had never meant replacing what was lost. It meant allowing new people to carry pieces of the love that remained. Years later, when Lily graduated from high school, Claire flew in from Seattle. Not as a guest, not as a replacement, but as family finally found. And whenever someone asked how they had met, Lily would simply smile and say, I knew her before anyone else did. Most people laughed. Daniel never corrected them, because in some mysterious way, she had. And sometimes the heart recognizes home long before the mind can explain why. Life's greatest reunions aren't always about finding the people you lost. They're about discovering the family that was quietly searching for you all along.